I'm back with another YouTube video. In this video I want to do a complete breakdown of the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor fight, the money fight. I actually got a whole playlist on the Maymac World Tour, so make sure you check that out. And in this video I want to do a top 5 reasons why Conor McGregor lost to Floyd Mayweather. I got my partner here, Edgar. He's a pro boxer and he's gonna help me break down the fight. So, reason number 1, Conor McGregor was not picking his shots. In the first 3 rounds, he actually did a really good job of fighting on the outside, fighting tall. And at that time, Floyd Mayweather did a good job of kind of collect data, right? He was trying to see what Conor McGregor can do. He was trying to see the power of his left hand and really trying to figure out this awkward style, this karate-based traditional style that Conor was bringing to a boxing game. So he wasn't really throwing much. I think he only landed 1 power shot in the first round, and I think only 4 power shots in the second and third round. So he was just kind of accumulating data, trying to figure out what he was going to do. Again, in the first 1, 2, 3 rounds, Conor did a really good job of fighting tall, right? He was out there picking his shots, looking for his shots, boom, boom. Did a really good job of fighting tall, using his reach, using his height. And people were surprised by that, but keep in mind that what Floyd did was collect data. He was trying to analyze Conor McGregor, see his strengths, see his bad habits, seeing the mistakes that he was making. So it's easy for me to throw my shots when my opponent is not engaging, right? When he's just kind of falling back, I can do this all day. I'm here, oh, looking for my openings. It's easy for me to do that. But starting around number 4, that's when Floyd had collected enough data. He kind of figured out his power, the distance, the timing. He put his guard up and he really started pressing forward. When the fight was coming towards him, he was no longer picking his shots. He was just throwing shots, boom, boom, boom. He's hitting gloves, he's hitting shoulders, he's hitting elbows. Essentially, he's wasting a lot of energy. He only landed about 25% of his 26% of his total shots, and I think about 25% of his power punches, where Floyd was the much more accurate puncher. He was able to land 58% of his power shots. He was able to land 53% of his total shots. So every other punch that Floyd threw, he landed, whereas Conor has to throw, 1, 2, 3, 4, just to land 1. And that really wears you down. So that's one of the key reasons why Conor got so tired, because he was not able to pick his shots. He was just throwing. Mistake number 2, and this was a big one, inside boxing. And this is something that Paulie Malignaggi actually stated after only 2 sparring sessions with Conor, that Conor's lack of experience on the inside, it's really going to give him trouble in the fight. And it did, because again, first 3 rounds, Floyd Mayweather just kind of stood back there. He let him do his thing. Conor was again outside, picking his shots, doing real well. But again, starting in the 4th round, when Floyd started to put the pressure on him and he was coming in real close, now Conor's here, Floyd's down there. Instead of fighting chest to chest, fighting on the inside, throwing body shots of his own, so he can get out, so he can fight on the outside, he didn't know what to do. He was trying to cover up by putting his hands down, and as a result, he kept getting punched in the head, he kept taking some nasty body shots. So his lack of experience on the inside really was a key factor, because if you look at his career inside the UFC, his MMA career, he always fights on the outside. He always fights tall. He's got that nice wide stance. He's able to come in, throw the left hand, catch his opponents on the outside. And the key difference between that, between MMA and boxing, is on the inside, right? I can throw elbows, I can throw knees, I can go for takedowns. There's a lot of things that I can do, but in boxing, you can't do all those things. So you gotta be smart, right? Fighting on the inside here is very different than fighting on the outside. There's 2 different things, and you gotta be able to adjust. And unfortunately, without any experience, Conor McGregor, he just could not adjust, and Floyd Mayweather took full advantage of that. Number 3 was non-stop pressure. Again, starting in round 4, that's when Conor started to get tired, and that's when Floyd really started to put the pressure on him. Every time that they would clinch up right here, they would clinch up and the referee would separate him, Floyd would immediately start pushing forward. He would give Conor absolutely no chance to reset, to kind of catch his breath for a split second, right? It was just non-stop pressure, non-stop pressure, non-stop pressure. And that not only wears you down physically, but it wears you down mentally as the fight progresses. If you look at Conor's second fight against Nate Diaz, when they were fighting, he would actually turn his back and he would run to create some distance for himself, right? So that way he can kind of catch his breath, reset himself for engaging. He couldn't do that in this fight, maybe because he didn't want to embarrass MMA by turning his back and running, but he just did not do that. Number 4, clinch. Conor McGregor, every time they were in a clinch, he would literally grab him, try to body lock. And when Conor's doing that, Floyd would literally put his forearm, right? He would put it on Conor's jaw and just push him back. And that really wears you out. And Conor was exerting a lot of energy trying to body lock him, trying to grab him, actually trying to, go around, take his back. And all Floyd did was just, again, put his forearm right there on his jaw or use his head to push his head backwards. And that really kind of, as the rounds went by, really took its toll and part of the reason why he was so tired. Last but not least, number 5, the mental pressure. I have a video on mental warfare versus, verbal warfare. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you watch that. And one of the key reasons is when I'm in there, right, if I'm sparring or if I'm fighting Edgar, the only person that I see in front of me is Edgar, right? I don't see everything else. Everything else is outside noise. The crowd, corner, whoever it may be, even the ref, I don't see him. I just see what he's doing. So every single thing that he's doing, the facial expression that he's making, if he's taunting me, if he's talking to me, I see all of that. And you see every single round, you see Floyd out there talking to him, you see Floyd giving him a little smirk. Even at the end of round 5, when the bell was separated, he actually did a little shove and pushed them, right? Like, what happened? You said you was going to knock me down in the first round, you was going to knock me out in the second round, and you didn't do that. So that plays a big factor. Mental warfare is in the ring, and it's also outside the ring, and you got to be able to exploit that if your opponent's mind is not as strong as yours. And I think Floyd is probably one of the strongest when it comes to mental games. He's a guy that absolutely plays mental games against De La Hoya, against Pacquiao, again, whoever it may be, all of his high-profile opponents. He's always been the bully. And inside the boxing ring, the mental warfare, the mental game was just, again, Floyd's was here, Conor was down here. The gap was just simply too much, and that really took its toll on Conor McGregor. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Those are my top 5 reasons why Conor McGregor lost to Floyd Mayweather. Now, if people say, well, he got tired, well, he got tired because he wasn't picking his shots, he was fighting tall, he was ineffective in the clinch, and also the non-stop pressure of Floyd Mayweather. As far as Conor's, lack of experience, the lack of experience obviously on the inside game of boxing, he just didn't have that. He's always been an outside fighter, fighting tall, using his height, using his reach, but on the inside it's a different ball game, and he just could not adjust during that fight. That takes a long time. It takes years to develop. So that's some of the reasons why he lost, and probably will lose again if they were to have a rematch.